Hi Homeworthy, I'm Christy Doramus. Welcome to my Dallas home. Come on in.
This holiday season, get ready to unwrap the most magnificent holiday homes with Homeworthy's 25 Days of Christmas. For the month of December, we'll take you inside the most heartwarming houses, decked out for the holidays in true festive fashion. From twinkling lights and elegantly trimmed trees to sparkling ornaments and cozy holiday charm, these homes capture the warmth, wonder, and beauty that make this season so special. So join us as Homeworthy celebrates 25 Days of Christmas. The magic starts now.
Raise your glass. Cheers! Merry Christmas! Happy holidays!
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Christy Doramus. Welcome to my home in Dallas, Texas. And welcome back. The last time we were together, I was in my home in Long Island in New York, my previous home, and now I am here based in Dallas, Texas. Although my career has ranged from publicist to event designer to creative consultant, producer, and so many other job titles that I've had over the years, right now I am doing my most important work as a mother to two young, beautiful boys. They're 3 and 1, and really just taking up all my time and love and energy, and I couldn't have it any other way. I am originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my husband actually grew up here in the neighborhood in Dallas. And over the years, we lived in New York for over 15 years, and we always wanted to find our way back to the South and raise our family here. So we finally did it. We're here and kind of coming back to our roots, closer to family. We live in a beautiful neighborhood, and we were so happy to find our dream home here in Dallas. And this house was built in the 1980s. The home has had a few remodels and some wonderful owners over the years who have taken such great care of it. And we are just happy to put our stamp on it and enjoy the next generation here in our beautiful home that we love so much. Welcome to my entryway. The wallpaper in this entryway immediately drew me in when we first visited this home, and I later learned that it is Schumacher hydrangea drape, which was famously also in the stairway in Gone with the Wind. So that fact also just made it even more special. But before we moved in, a decorator named Palmer Weiss did select a few wallpapers and carpets for the home, so I definitely want to give her credit where credit is due. I don't know where this carpet is from that she selected, and it wouldn't have been my first choice, but we decided to live with it for a little bit. It's a leopard print, and now I don't think I could live without it. With 2 little kids and people constantly coming and going, it really hides everything. So hot tip, if you're looking for a carpet for your entryway, why not try leopard? I love it now. For Christmas, we really put our tree right smack in the middle of the entryway, so it's the first thing that you see when you walk in. And it's such a special tree with so many ornaments on it that are family heirlooms. And truly, I dug through my mother-in-law's bins and my mom's bins of Christmas ornaments from the past 50 years, and they're all here. So here's St. Louis Cathedral, where we got married, a needlepoint ornament, silver bells from our children's collection. I'm loving these bauble stockings that are also needle pointed. Those are so sweet and great gifts. A dancing bear, because we love the Grateful Dead. And probably our most special addition this year was this train that goes around the tree, and my kids are obsessed with it. It circles around our tree and it gets turned on every morning, and all of these little details just make us so happy and really bring the Christmas spirit to our home, especially with children. So we've got all of our special ornaments on the tree. All of these are family heirlooms. My husband's from when he was a kid, homemade things from my son from preschool that I love, and my rattan alligator who's watching everybody to make sure no one opens their presents early, especially my 3-year-old who loves to snoop around. This is a Gamble Stole table that we've had in our previous home as a desk, now repurposed for an entry table. And this mirror I was lucky enough to find in Paris at the flea market. It has another piece that goes in the other room, but I just loved it, and I love the color so much that I didn't touch it, and we just hung it just like it was. So this is our entryway that leads into the dining room. But first, I have to show you one of my favorite pieces of art that I found at Round Top. It was placed in the living room in my previous home. It moved with us from our apartment in New York City. Somehow it fit in our apartment in New York City. And now here it is right in the middle of our entryway. It's the first thing you see when you walk in, and I just love it. I love it the day that I got it, and I still love it just as much. When it comes to decorating, I love to do everything myself. I'm a big DIYer. Typically, if you walk into my home on a regular day, you can find me on a ladder or with a hammer or with a drill. That's just who I am. I like to do it myself. When we purchased this home, we were so lucky that some of the finishings, the wallpaper and some of the carpet, some of the wall colors were already here in place, and we happen to love them, which I feel like is rare when you are moving into a new home. So lucky for us, we did not have to do any work to the home, but I was able to put all of my collections and little things and furniture and pieces that I've collected over the years and bring them into this home. I love finding things, whether it be estate sales, garage sales. I love going to Round Top. I recently was able to go to the Paris flea market outside of Paris and find a few treasures for my home, but I am a constant treasure hunter and tinkerer around the house. So I believe in my last Homeworthy tour in New York, I said that if you find something that you love, you will always find a place for it. And I think that that has really, really rung true in this home, because I really didn't purchase anything specifically for this home. We really didn't bring in a lot of new. It was really all of our old friends and all of our old things that we had from over the years. And maybe they're repurposed or recovered or repositioned in the home, or used in a different room. But I really truly stand by that statement. If you really love something, you will always find a place for it. And we did. Welcome to my dining room. There's nothing I love more than setting a table and enjoying a meal with family or friends around the table. I've set up my Christmas table early, which means that every day between now and Christmas, I will come in and tinker around and change things and add things, and probably not take anything away. Probably just keep adding and adding and adding. But my table is so special. It's got layers and layers of family heirloom plates or vintage plates I found on eBay, pieces of silver from my mother-in-law's collection or my own mother's collection, things that she's found, and we've just layered it all on. I've got my wedding flatware here, these bows that I love. They're leather bows that I got with my initials on them from Leatherology. It's a local Dallas company. And these Christmas crackers that are made out of vintage fabric that you can reuse were made by Sarah Bray Bermuda, and I love those. My kids have loved opening them, and I keep rewrapping them so that they will last until Christmas. Christmas crackers are such a fun tradition, but the fact that you can reuse these and they're made out of fabric is even better. For florals this year, I decided to do potted plants and herbs. So I've got some French lavender and rosemary, and it all smells so wonderful. But it's also a great way to make the tablescape last a little bit longer, because sometimes cut flowers only last a few days. So preparing early and wanting my tablescape to last a couple of weeks until Christmas, I did potted plants, and it smells delicious. I love collecting plates and flatware and glassware, and I don't necessarily think that you always have to have it match. If you find a set of plates, for instance, I found these Pierre Frey beautiful plates on eBay last week, and there were only 5, so I purchased 5, and I just did a sprinkling on the table, and even though I don't have 10, it still works with the other pieces that I have, like my prized Spode fleur-de-lis. I'm from Louisiana, so I love that pattern. I have it in a few different colors. And again, with the baskets, I have a lot of baskets around the house, so I've added in some baskets. And these beautiful wax flowers that were hand painted, they're not real, if you can believe it. I got them. Mrs. Alice came to Dallas for a trunk show, and I purchased them from her, and I just love them. I love flowers, but of course, something that lasts forever. So those will live on my table until Christmas and probably beyond. Another example of my hunting, I just ordered these beautiful French vintage napkins from Etsy, and they came with this beautiful postcard from a lady in France that sourced them. I've been to all of those flea markets in France trying to find my initials, and I found them on Etsy. So I just got these yesterday, and I might have to mix them into my table. I just might. This is a table that is part of a 3-piece table in this dining room that I found at City Opera Thrift in New York City. And I still have it because if I have a larger dinner party and I need extra space, this and the 2 demi-lunes connect to make a long table, which I love. And they now in my dining room live as 3 separate pieces. But what's most special about this table is the cover, which was my old drapes from my last house. And I love the fabric so much that I reused it and had a cover made for the table. Maxine Makes made it, and I love it so much. So you don't always have to get rid of drapes or curtains. You can always reuse the fabric. You can recover chairs with it, or make yourself a table skirt. So I love that. Frame scarves are always a great way to add artwork at a reasonable price point. This one I had in my previous home. It's an old Central Park Hermes scarf that I love. And there's another one in the hallway. Here, I've potted tons of paper whites and amaryllis. I usually typically start at the end of October and early November potting them, and do a few every week so that there's always something blooming in the house until Christmas, and actually until January. So paper whites, amaryllis, they're all sort of blooming and living wild. Sometimes they tell you that they want to be wild, and you just have to listen. So here they are, mixed in with some of my artwork and placed on the table, but all around my house you'll find paper whites and amaryllis throughout the Christmas season, and that really starts at the end of October. This is really what you would call a formal living space, but it's where we relax after dinner or before dinner. I have a little desk in the corner where I actually write thank you notes and Christmas cards. I'm a big stationery person, so I'm always writing notes. I love an excuse to write a note. I love stationery. I think it's something that my mom taught me when I was little. She never really let me open a gift or especially cash a check until there was a thank you note that was delivered to the person giving the gift. So thank you, Mom, for teaching me that. But I still, to this day, I love stamps and snail mail, and my kids have stationery and they write thank you notes in their voices. and this is where I do it. So I love a little place to write a note. I have a few brass crabs around the house and a few crab paraphernalia. I am a Cancer, and very true Cancer. So a little brass crab, you can hide things in it too if you want. This sofa, along with most things in my home, traveled with me from Long Island. And when I was putting art on this wall, I really wanted something to go in the middle, and I could not find it. So I made it. I created this piece of art, and then I really started making art for all over my home. So I'll show you some other pieces, but that one was my first piece, and I thought it was really fun because I really had a specific size and shape and color in mind, so I just made it myself. That's my art. These wall baskets I picked up in Nantucket the last time I was there. The tulle flowers inside are from Casa Gusto in Palm Beach, one of my favorite stores. I have art all over my home from artists that I've met on Instagram and become friends with over the years, like Riley Sheehy, Megan Karn, Millie Sims. And among all of the things that I love in this room, this mirror is probably my favorite. I got it at the Paris Flea, and it's huge, so we had a container bring it home, and it finally made it to me all in one piece. But now it is really the centerpiece of this room, and it feels like it was almost built in to the space. And I love it. It expands the space, and it really shows all of the other pieces of the room when you look into it. So it's probably one of my favorite things in here. This chaise, I got at a estate sale in Sag Harbor, also one of my favorite pieces. But I was lucky enough to find over the years so many great side tables and cases. The secretary that's part of my desk is a family heirloom. It was in my childhood home growing up, and now it's repurposed. So I love that, and it makes me so happy to sit at it and think about my mom writing her thank you notes. So this is a very special table that I found at Palm Beach Regency in Palm Beach, and the owner of the store, Corinne, is such a cool curator of antique pieces. She sourced it, and I knew that this was the spot that it had to live over my vintage Oshak Etsy rug. But I love this table so much, and it always gets so many compliments when people walk in. Here is another frame scarf. I like flowers. I think flowers like me. Pretty much sums me up as a human. And when it comes to hallway spaces, well, I'm a huge art collector, but when it comes to hallway spaces, they shouldn't be overlooked. I think it's really important to make them exciting. This particular one you see when you come out of the powder room, which is our main guest bathroom. So I wanted people to see something exciting. This is a painting by Luli Wallace, another great artist that I found on Instagram. Personal really sums up my style in general, but when it comes to Christmas, it's all about homemade items, personal items, and things that are meaningful to me and to my family. This year, I was really excited to do something different on my staircase. I've done garlands before, and those are fun, but when my parents or my in-laws come over, people always want to hold on to the stair rail. Just people are getting older and it's harder to walk up and down stairs. So I thought, what can I do that really shows personality, that really still allows the staircase to be used properly? And I've collected baskets over the years, and I've recently gone on a hunt for more baskets. I probably have 200 baskets in my house, but I've collected them from the Goodwill, the Salvation Army. My mother-in-law let me borrow a very precious collection of her baskets that are from North Carolina, and they're all handmade in the mountains. So some of those are adorning my staircase. My idea was to display poinsettias around the staircase, but not just red, because Christmas to me isn't always about red and green. I found these interesting lighter colors around the home and garden stores here in Dallas, and also at Trader Joe's, the best place to find flowers. And here we are with our staircase lined with all of my precious baskets and poinsettias and our tree, which is just so personal and special. I also love setting the table. I collect all of these beautiful things and I love setting a holiday table. So I've set my Christmas table up, and the earlier I do it every year, the more and more I tinker. So every day I'm constantly changing something out until Christmas. But we did some potted plants, which I love, and I brought in some beautiful magnolia branches from my husband's family farm that I hung myself. We just went down and cut them down, put them in the back of his truck, and I hung them myself. Again, I'm a DIYer. Previously in New York, I was a big gardener, very passionate about spending a lot of time in the garden and planting herbs, and I had a cutting garden, but also a place where I grew vegetables and things that we ate. So I laugh because I live in Dallas now and it gets very hot. I have fake grass in my backyard, so my gardening style has certainly changed just because I'm still learning my zone and asking around to everybody what actually will survive here. But what I've really done, because I long for the garden and the outdoors, is I've just brought it inside. It's a little different, but it's fun for me. So it just makes it really personal and special, especially during the holidays. So through this way is our powder room, and it's a special powder room, and it has our friend Petey, who flew from New York, who's lived with us for so long and now lives in our bathroom. So when anyone comes over, I like to give an element of surprise or a conversation starter, and why not hang a bird from the ceiling of your bathroom? We have this piece of art from Millie Sims, and then a special painting that has its own light of a shotgun house in New Orleans that I also love. Layered over this beautiful wallpaper that we inherited with the house. It was already here, so lucky us. And these beautiful Colleen Ryder sconces that, again, were here. So we were so lucky that those were here, and then I added a beautiful mirror that I found in Paris to finish it. But I just love this powder room. It's so fun. This is our family room and patio area, which is really where we spend most of our time as a family watching TV. My kids' toys are all hidden in drawers under the coffee table so that they know to put them back there, and it looks neat, but they're there and accessible, or in bins. But this is where we spend our mornings and our evenings playing and enjoying time together. These furniture pieces, again, nothing was really new for this home. This is an old sofa that I recovered. These chairs are Society Social, covered in a Chenonceau Schumacher fabric that I had in my son's room in our previous home that now fit in here. For the holidays, I got these wreaths from Trader Joe's and hung them on these beautiful mirrors that used to hang in my dining room. They're from a Georgia estate. Again, layers and layers of art. I love art. I find a lot of it on Cherish, Instagram, and on my travels. This piece right here is called Under the Coconut Tree, and I purchased it at a gallery in Boca Grande in Florida when I was traveling there for a friend's wedding. These are our stockings. My mom made them, so they're very special to me. There's Chippy. If you know, you know. Layers and layers of heirlooms and books that I've collected over the years, and just little knickknacks, photographs, pieces of art that were given to me, and it just makes it so special. It makes it home to me to have all of these things. And I think there's definitely a fine line between collector and hoarder, and sometimes I teeter on that line, but I try to keep it all neat so that it looks like it belongs. But seeing all of these little things just really brings me a lot of joy. This, I have a very special award that I was just given from the Garden Club for a Christmas craft that I did. I've been needlepointing since I moved to Dallas, and this is a needlepoint tambourine that I made for for a crafting contest, and that's my prize. It's a silver basket, and I get to engrave my name on the back along with all of the other winners from previous years. So that's very special to me. What I love most about my home is truly the feeling that I get when I wake up here every morning with my family and with my children, and just the joy I feel when we turn on the music and start our day and have breakfast and have that true family time together. Home to me is really a feeling more than a place or a thing, and that is what brings me so much joy. We had so many great years in New York and the city and out on Long Island, and I just really love the sense of community that I've found here in Dallas and what joy it brings for me to really feel like we finally have our first home as a family of 4. So our family room is connected to our kitchen, where we really spend so much time as a family. Around the island, my kids love to cook. My son loves to make eggs every morning, so he's always here with his stand, moving it around the kitchen, helping me cook. He loves to bake. And now that it's Christmas time, we've been making cookies. We have a gingerbread house, and those little special memories that hopefully he'll hold on to forever when he thinks about Christmas at home with us. So in our kitchen, we started to hang our Christmas cards, make our gingerbread houses, put them out and decorate them, and get ready for Christmas. In my kitchen, I also love this cabinet where I can store and display all of my glassware, but it's also a grab and go. Choose a glass that speaks to you is what I always tell my guests, but it really forces you to use the nice pieces of glassware, which I love. One of the most special things about our kitchen is that we have 2 islands we're lucky enough to have. So we really spend a lot of our time in here cooking with our kids, gathering around. My son's stool sits right here, and he moves it all around the kitchen, helps us cook, and we just start our day here with my baby and my son. We make our breakfast together. So this space is really just used every morning for family gatherings, catching up after school, and we really love cooking together and utilizing this space as a family. This pot rack was here when we moved in, so it's a design element that I would have never thought to add myself, but it is extremely useful, and when we're done with things, we just hang them back up and pull them down when we need them, and it also saves on cabinet space. So highly recommend a pot rack. I'm really loving it. So on any given morning when I can't sleep at 4 a.m., my husband might find me somewhere with a hammer and a nail. And that was one day when I started hanging all these plates up on the wall in this sort of bubble pattern. But I have so many special plates from over the years, and I really wanted to display them. So here they are. Hopefully I'll keep adding to it, but I really just thought it was a fun way to add a little bit of color, but also show them off because I do love them so much. This table we had made from Scout Design, which is a great resource here in Dallas, but I paired them with these awesome chairs from Target that were really affordable and just had seat cushions made for them. So they're super comfy and casual in our breakfast area. When we have other families over and kids, this is where we eat. And you know, I have carpet in my kitchen and it's comfortable, but it's stained. Who cares? That's life. So connected to our family room is this patio space, which was one of our favorite elements of the home when we moved in. It's our indoor-outdoor space. We can open all of these doors and let our kids play outside. In Dallas, we have fake grass because it's so hot, but this is our indoor-outdoor space. We have such a tiny little backyard, but this room really helps extend that for us. And everything in here is really brought from our previous home or repurposed. I got these rugs on Etsy, recovered these chairs. I love this console table. It's from Mecox. I got it on Long Island, and really you can fit So many blankets and toys inside. We have toys all over. They're just hidden. And these are cushion covers that were made for these sofas, and they're so special to me. My husband's grandmother made the quilts, and they were starting to show a little bit of wear and tear from over the years. So I had them made into these seat covers that we can take off and wash. So it's great for kids, but also just so special to me. And I think it adds such a homemade detail element to the room. And I've been lucky enough to inherit so many quilts from my mother-in-law, my mom. My mother is a big quilter, and my husband's grandmother and great-grandmother. So it just makes this room extra cozy and layered. We spend so much time in here. These chairs, my husband and I sit here a lot of times after we put the kids to bed and watch a show or just catch up from the day. And my kids love to play in here. So there's always paint. My 3.5-year-old is obsessed with art, so I really just try to facilitate that for him. He loves to paint in here and host his friends over for arts and pizza parties. I spend some time doing art here next to him. Some of my art pieces that I've been working on, I do here. And when we have family dinner, this is where we do it. We really just sit around the banquette and catch up from the day and have our family dinners in a casual environment and not worry about making a mess because everything in here is outdoor fabrics. So I love this piece of art for this space. It really brings in a lot of color, but they're Mustangs that were painted by Donald Robertson when he first moved to Dallas, which was a couple years before us. And I remember going to his studio and purchasing it while I'm wearing a mask in 2020 during the pandemic. And now it's in my home. It's so colorful. Everyone loves it. And it just brings back some memories from that crazy time we all remember. But that's why I love collecting art, because it always brings back memories and a time and place. And it's a great way to tell a story or start a conversation in your home. Although I am not a trained designer, I am certainly a design enthusiast. And I study old books that I have, my collection, my library of photographs and magazines. I am a borderline hoarder of old magazines and photos in my Pinterest boards, and it goes on and on and on. I'm finding inspiration everywhere I go, especially with travel. I just recently went to Nantucket and went on a really big quilt kick. So there's a lot of quilts around my house. There were already, but there are more now. Thank you, Nantucket. And I really just truly enjoy making a home cozy and inviting, and I want everyone to come over and take off their shoes, kick up their feet, grab a glass of whatever it is, not worry about spilling it. I want them to feel welcome, cozy, and truly invited in my space that I do spend so much time and energy and love curating to bring happiness and joy to others too. And now I'll take you back inside to show you our game room. So off of our kitchen is this little game room where we sit before dinner, have a drink. My kids have this cabinet filled with board games, and my son loves to pull them out and put them out on the table. So we spend time in here as a family, but also as adults when we have friends over for dinner parties. I decorated a little bit for Christmas in here. These magnolia branches were cut down from my husband's family farm, and I installed them myself on the mantelpiece. This is probably my favorite thing in our game room. It was referred to as my third child for 6 months, but I needle pointed this recently, and it's a backgammon board. It's from an artist, Maxine makes, hand painted it, and I stitched it, and now it sits here as my prized game board for all to see. but I don't know how to play, so I have to learn. But it's beautiful, right? A few more art pieces layered in. I found this one at Brimfield. This piece is an artist from Fairhope, Alabama. It's my Mardi Gras seahorse, little nod to my Louisiana root. I got this beautiful mirror at an estate sale in East Hampton, and this marble piece is actually the other half to the mirror that's in the entryway. So it just shows off some of our family portraits. I love these Dorothy Draper style chests that used to be side tables in my bedroom, and now they live here. So any cabinet in my home is a chance to store either toys or tabletop items. So for instance, in our game room, not only do we have a cabinet of games, but I have cabinets full of napkins, napkin rings, placemats. You can't forget the napkin rings. Those are over here, along with the party napkins and plates. So I really use any excuse to store all of these things, and I try to keep it organized, but my favorite is in here. So between the kitchen and the game room is this tiny little space that was made just for me, I think. It stores all of my plates, teacups, chargers, glassware. It's also doubles as a bar for my husband, but I have a place to put finally all of my dishes and keep them organized so that I can pull them out for different occasions. But I love this little room. It's one of my favorite spaces in the home. It's where I store all of my treasures. Before we head upstairs, I just have to take a minute to talk about my poinsettia installation. That's really a collection of baskets that I've found from thrift stores and consignment stores, estate sales, but also mixed in with some very beautiful pieces that my mother-in-law gave me on loan that are handmade in North Carolina, these beautiful handmade baskets that I've attached to the staircase going all the way up. Just to do something a little bit different than a holiday garland this year, we just added poinsettias to all of my baskets. On the stairwell, we have some family photos and mementos that are very special to us. There's some photos of me and my kids, but also some silhouettes of my children and drawings that were done by people that we love. Darcy Miller did a little drawing of me and my family whenever I had my baby, and I just cherish it so much. It's on my staircase, framed. And another artist drew us at the beach. So those are very special to us, and just a reminder of those great memories as we walk up the staircase every day. And at the top of my staircase is a painting that I maybe mentioned in my last tour, but it's a painting by Millie Sims, an artist out of Charleston, who did her version of Audubon's Birds of America. So I have one of her pieces here and then one in my powder room downstairs, but I love it so much. It's at the top of my staircase, and it's the first thing that you see when you walk in. And at the top of my stairs is a new piece of art that I actually made myself. It's a tribute to my hydrangeas that I used to have in the Hamptons before I moved to Texas and can't have hydrangeas anymore. But I made this piece of art and sewed the little pieces onto a canvas, and now it makes me so happy to walk up here and think about all my hydrangeas that used to bloom in the summer. And I've really enjoyed making this art. So it's now displayed in my home, and hopefully other people will think the same. And down this hallway is my son's room. He's 3, and it's just such a special room. He helps me decorate, and with kids, I've learned that quilts are amazing. So white sofa covered in a quilt, we can wash it anytime. If it gets a little bit dirty, no one cares. His bed is so cozy. He's in a transitional phase from crib to bed, so he has this little bed, and I can't tell you where I found it because it was passed down from his cousins, and they all used it over the years, and now it's his, so he's very proud to have it from his older cousins. We've decorated a little bit here in his room for the holidays. He helped me make these paper chains out of old wrapping paper and wallpaper. That was a fun little project for us. He has a little mini tree and his dancing bear light, and he loves playing the guitar and the piano when he wakes up. And I've taken the opportunity to use so many pieces of art that I've collected over the years and layer them in his room, because when he wakes up in the morning early, there's always something to look at and there's something of interest. A Riley Sheehy painting here of little animals playing at Augusta, a Charlie Harper print, paintings that I found at estate sales and consignment stores. My friend Lydia Marie Elizabeth painted this piece, an ice cream cone. I don't remember where I found that. I think at a garage sale, but I hung it on the wall because I thought it was cool and my son loves it. So this is his sweet little room, a place where we spend a lot of time reading books before bed and playing games, and his toys are hidden in these little baskets, but he loves this space, so that makes me so happy. Okay, so moving down the hallway, we have a guest room here where I love to spoil our guests when they stay over, and I typically put candles or flowers in their room, but this is our guest room. I recently added this quilt. It's a vintage cathedral style quilt, and I love quilts. You'll see them all over my home. This one in particular is very special, and I've just layered in pieces here that I've found, art pieces that I found over the years. We have a needlepoint pelican, a lot of Louisiana nods to my heritage, and the curtains were in our previous bedroom. So again, a lot of things that have been repurposed, reconfigured in the home. This was one of our old beds in our apartment that's been recovered. So you can always use these things and move them around and give them new life, but everything in here was previously in our former home. So I always try to have options for blankets. So I put some in this basket just so that you can grab them and cozy up and just make your guests feel really comfortable, no matter where they are in the home, that they have access to a cozy blanket. This is our primary bedroom, and every bedroom I've had over the past 10 years has had the same paint color. It's Faro and Ball blackened. I truly believe it's the best, serene, not too blue, not too gray paint color. So I love it in my bedroom, and here it is again. Our room is very peaceful. It's a place where I want to go and relax at the end of the day and not have too much fuss going on. We've styled the shelves with just different things that are important to us and have meaning. Truly the place where we hang out at the end of every single night are these two chairs. And I actually don't watch a lot of television. My husband does. So he'll watch TV and I'll do my needle pointing or whatever craft I'm working on here in my chair. But it is so relaxing and such a happy place for us. Right now I'm working on a little steely. Hopefully I'll finish it by Christmas for my husband. It's supposed to be his Christmas present. So that's my needlepoint project du jour. And we read books in here with our kids. And it's just such a cozy little place to end the day in our bedroom. There are quilts all over my home. I just think that they're so cozy and personal. I love this piece that I found on eBay a few years ago. This is an old bench that was a family heirloom that we had recushioned, and some needlepoint pillows, some art mixed in, another art piece that I made because I've been having way too much fun making art. Our photos of our kids, these heirloom portraits that are so sweet. And I found this mirror at Vintage Thrift in New York and almost got hit by a car when I was trying to put it in my car one day. Thankfully I didn't, but I was loading it up and I almost got hit by a car. So it made it and I made it, but that's just one of my New York finds that always makes me smile when I look at it. So this is a Gamble Stoll table that I put on this corner because it's actually a desk. And frankly, I have two of them because I bought one from Cherish and it got ruined in the truck on the way to me. And the driver said, "I'm so sorry, I'm gonna deliver it to you anyway, do you mind?" So I took it and had it repaired and then purchased another one after I was refunded. So now we have two and one lives in my room, but why not put a table on a corner with a curve? I really love it here. For the longest time, it lived here because I had nowhere else to put it and I really wanted to hang on to it. But we put it on this corner and now it's here to stay. If you saw my last Homeworthy episode, you might recognize these two little chaise lounges. They used to be a salmon pink color and now they've been recovered to match my bedroom. I wanted to keep them as pink as long as I could, but I really didn't have a place for that color in my home. They were found at Housing Works in New York and have traveled with us all over, and they've been recovered 3 times. So if you find something you love, you can always repurpose it and put it in a different place, put a new fabric on it. But these are pieces that I truly love, and I really don't know that I've seen anything like them since I found them. This is a fun painting that I found on Etsy, and I also love the way that the artist framed it. I really love when a painting comes ready to hang. So if I've run out of space to hang art on the walls, I start hanging it on the bookshelves and pretty much anywhere I can find space. So we've put some of our pieces on the bookshelves just to add some layers. I just love layering art and mementos and things. It really adds to a great display for your shelves. So now that I have 2 little boys, the place in my home that I probably spend the most time is my laundry room. So we made it fun. I've called it the Beehive. We recently installed this bee wallpaper. It's a Schumacher print that I'm obsessed with and I think will stand the test of time, but truly it makes me happy to be in here and do laundry. So that's goal number 1. And again, I have my baskets everywhere because I'm always using them around the house. I put a bar up there to hang my baskets, and I've got some Christmas presents that I'm potting over here for my friends with amaryllis bulbs, and it's a happy laundry room, so why not enjoy it if you have to spend a lot of time here. The holidays for me, especially now, is all about family. Seeing the joy in my little boys' eyes when they watch the train go around the tree, or every night when the carriages come down our street, my son sits in his window and waves to them and says, "Hey guys, I hope you're having fun out there." And I think at this point, he's part of the tour. It's just moments like that that really make the holidays truly special, especially here in our new home that we've designed to make comfortable and cozy for our family and enjoyable for our children.